Hey, what's up? It's JR from Radio 1 Drive, and I have a very, very special guest with me, Maxwell. How you doing,
I'm
man?
doing well, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. How you loving Dubai?
I love Dubai. I love the Middle East, period. I love Dubai for
So,
sure.
do you have any investments yet?
Not yet. Inshallah, one day. I have some investments in West Africa, and then as I get more comfortable with this region, I should have bought back here in January.
Yeah.
But that's another story. No regrets, right?
So how do you pick? Because I know you have a system and a program
Uh-huh.
in America that you with wholesalers and stuff
Yeah.
like that. How do you go outside of the continent in America to start picking investment opportunities? Do you have somebody on the ground for you?
No, for me, it's very hands-on, especially when I critique it very well when I'm out of the country. Matter of fact, when I'm in the United States, I try not to even invest outside of my state.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But one thing that I do recognize is opportunities, right? And so anytime you can come to a developing nation and they're willing to have you and you can be a part of it at the early age, I just know the upside. History repeats itself. So like if you think about it, if you could have been an investor in the United States in the 1960s, where would you be at now if you kept and hold everything?
Billionaire,
Right?
loaded.
Yeah, it'd be loaded, right? And so now you look at, okay, the barrier to entry in the United States is very high. But then you come to a place like Dubai, who's developing, it's moving fast. I mean, just from January to now, I've seen prices double on properties that I was looking at. So what is it gonna look like 10 years from now? I always have a 100-year plan,
Okay.
right? Even though you're not gonna live past 100.
But that's setting up for your future. Your
Correct.
Kids,
Yeah.
Kids,
So
kids, yeah.
making, looking at making investments in Egypt. It's an economy that is, it's down right now, but it's gotta come back up.
In Egypt, they're building a new city.
Exactly.
I'm fascinated about developments. Like my wife teased me because I would look at YouTube videos of what's coming 10, 15 years down the line. And I think the reason why I'm into that, one, I'm very into real estate. But I find it fascinating to be able to predict that area. You know,
Yeah.
the places that I've bought, I've tripled my money because I was able to be like, okay, this is going to be a hot spot where nobody else sees it.
You're just paying attention.
Yeah, and that's fascinating to me, and I love architecture and the builds and stuff. So when it comes to wholesaling, because I understand the concept, but one thing you hear, you don't need to use your money, you can use other, But if I was to start out, or somebody wanted to start in the wholesaling to get that first deal, what is the focus? Because like most people, when they want to dive into something and invest, it's like, all right, I'm gonna buy everything, I'm gonna get everything.
Yeah,
I need to
that's
do
the
it.
first mistake.
That's what everybody do.
Yeah,
So
that's the
what
first
would be the
mistake.
first step when it comes to wholesaling?
There's a lot of information out there, right? A ton of information. So the best thing to do is pick one or two people that you can trust and verify that they actually do the business. And most of the information you can get from them for free if you pay attention to them. And once you see value in their free work, then if they have something that you can purchase from them to become a part of that community, then do that. But only watch one or two people. Don't go diving in a bunch of people, and watch somebody you like. Watch somebody that you can stand their voice, the way they look,
to.
the whole nine.
Yeah.
That way you can get used to listening to them all the time. Because I picked two people in the beginning. I became very obsessed, and I learned a lot of free information. I didn't have money to buy anything, so it wasn't even an option for me to go buy anybody's program. So I had to find all the information that I needed to find myself and piece it together and create that. But the idea behind getting into anything new, right? So, take for example your job. You're a world-renowned radio host, right? All over the world. You've had a couple jobs all over, right?
Nah.
No, it's true, man. And so they look at you and be like, yo, I want to be like my mans. And then they try to get to that position before they start with one. So it's like, where can you host things locally? College radio, do this, get your game up.
Yeah, you got
And
repetition to get better.
Yeah, and so they might look at my lifestyle or somebody that's from like your hometown, Chris Jefferson, and say, I want to be like that guy. And then turn around and try to emulate me from the beginning. When it's the reality is, if you can do one deal a month, you'll be able to change your entire life, right? If you can make $10,000 a month, you can change your entire life, right? That puts you in the top 19% of all Americans, right? To be able to do $10,000 a month. And so focus on that. And once you prove to yourself that you can do it one time, then you understand the concept and you do it again. And then 3 times. And now you're doing 3, 4, 5, 6 deals a month. And now you're in the top 1% of Americans.
So when it comes to doing deals and looking for deals, let's say, is it possible to do it without any programs?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so you made the calls. And with wholesaling, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it ones the signs that you see on the side of the road, like we buy houses?
Absolutely, branded signs.
So if I'm explain to me what wholesaling is in a kindergarten point of view.
Wholesaling is simply buying something at a deep discount and reselling it at a discount, but not at the retail, right? Mm-hmm. So for example, you can wholesale anything. These sunglasses I have on. Mm-hmm. Somebody wholesaled. I can go to China right now. I can get a contract. And here's what's unique about wholesaling in the sense when it comes to real estate. You don't actually have to purchase it. People are like, why? That's why they say you don't have to use your own money.
Exactly.
So say, for example, you're 6 hours from China, right?
Yes. So
you fly to China and you contract 100,000 pair of these sunglasses, right? And you negotiate well. You know the value of these to a wholesaler is $20, mm-hmm. right? To the end user, it's $100. To the guy that's gonna, put them in the store, it's $20. So you negotiate a deal with the Chinese manufacturer to produce these at $7 a pop, right? And all you did, because you went out and did the hustle and the grind, right? You were able to get the deal that this guy wasn't willing and able to go get. Yeah. So you turn around and you say, listen, produce these 100,000 glasses. I'll be back in 3 weeks. Then you go find a guy that's willing to pay the $10. Remember, you got him on the contract for $7. So all you do is, now that you have that contract, you sell your contract for $3 a piece. So now the same contract that's executed at $7, you're now selling it at $3 more, so the guy's paying a total of $10. You contract something that is deeply discounted, and you sell it to somebody else who's going to do something else with it. That's simple.
And it's just, you keep flipping it.
You wholesale cars, you wholesale, everything's wholesaled. Mm-hmm. There's middleman in between every product.
Are you fascinated with real estate, or are you fascinated with building a business?
I am fascinated. I'm obsessed with building businesses.
Okay.
I'm fascinated with the versatility of real estate.
Okay.
Yeah. It's one of those things that's so creative.
Because I think that's another thing that people need to think about. Are they fascinated or passionate about building business, or are they passionate about real estate, or both?
They're just passionate about making money.
Exactly. Can that be a real passion to drive you?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's a means to an end, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like if you want to be the best football player, you can become passionate about training and working out. Or you can train and work out only because you know it's going to get you these results. Mm-hmm. And so it's the same thing. For me, it's like I'm passionate about building businesses, and the byproduct of building big businesses and businesses that work is money. I enjoy money. Yeah. I'm not going to be somebody tell you that I don't care about money. No.
Exactly.
I enjoy money, mm-hmm. right? And money, because why? Because money gives me freedom.
Exactly.
I left home, and I don't know when I'm going to return on this vacation. That's freedom.
That's awesome.
Right? And so the business is run by itself. I'm able to still make money while I'm here. Employees still get paid. And that's the idea of freedom. That's what money gives you. And so most people try to find something that's going to bring them to a means to an end. So you can wholesale real estate just because you want to open up 13 barbershops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's whatever you want to do with it. But
okay, you
don't have to make money from your passion. They say actually when you make money from your passion, you actually don't like it anymore.
Really?
That's what they say. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not willing to find out.
I'll tell you something off there.
Yeah, I'm not willing to find out.
No. You bought, 20 acres of land back at home?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So was that vision, hey, I just want to buy land and put whatever I want on it? What was that vision when it came to when you bought the land?
So because we actively look for wholesale deals, this land came across our radar. We end up buying it, and I went to the property for the first time, and I said, this would be a great place to put a house. One, I know it was in the way of development. I know it was a chunk of 20 acres in the city, mm-hmm. right? And it didn't have the best, topo. It didn't have the best lie. But we ended up spending a lot of money leveling out the property a lot. And then I knew from the time I saw the property, I was like, okay, I'm going to put my house right there. And I built a house on it, and, To me, it's a cool house, but to me, it's just still just a piece of property. You know?
Okay. So, because you
I'll sell it right
travel.
now if somebody give me the right price.
Fair enough. See, I'm thinking this whole time like, oh, this is something that means a lot to you. Like,
No, it's a means to an end. Like my ideal situation, because I'm a pilot, is to have 100 acres with a runway in my backyard.
oh, nice.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's just, I'm playing Monopoly in real life, so I'm not falling in love with any of this.
Okay. And is that the mindset young investors should have? Like, because my whole thing, I have this idea like, all right, I want to get to 50 done. You know what I'm saying? I want to.
But that's your goal. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
what? Like.
So it just.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm really asking is, does the mindset your mindset of, hey, I can sell this, like you said, I can sell this today, whereas my mindset is more like, no, if I had 20 acres and stuff, I'm good. Does that change the drive of that person, or is it just up to the person?
You know what sometimes makes me angry is when a person has success, they try to push their ideology on everybody, or their pathway on everybody. That's not how I am, right? My definition of success and your definition of success are completely different.
Exactly. Yep.
At the end of the day, when we reach those milestones, we're still going to be happy with whatever we chose, what it is. So my goals and my vision could be different from you. My idea with real estate was to create enough passive income to where I don't have to touch it, to where I can set up something for the future. I figured out the hack how to make money while I'm alive. So I'm going to make a lot of money and be able to take care of myself, but I want to have something for the future generations, which is just a big old real estate portfolio. And I'll sell it today if I got to, right? If another opportunity presents itself that's going to be greater, then I'll sell that too.
So how does it work with, you being a businessman and also having to take care of home? Like, I know you can take your wife everywhere and stuff like that, but how do you balance, because I'm pretty sure you get people asking you questions, a million questions a day.
Yeah.
How do you have that balance of work life and personal time?
I don't think there's a balance.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm one of those things that, luckily my wife's an entrepreneur. She's a content creator as well too, so she completely is on her own path and is crushing it herself. What you try to get to, for me, let me just tell you this, what I'm talking about is for me.
For you, okay.
Right, and what works for me in my relationship and my family.
I was going to use whatever you say to my wife, man.
And you can give it a try. But for me, there's a few short years in my life that I consider the mode that we go hard. And then everything after that, it's because we want to.
Okay.
Right? And so right now we're in that grind mode that, I don't know, grind's become a negative word, but I'm in that aggressive mode right now.
Yeah.
We're going hard, we're traveling, we're taking opportunities, we're seizing everything that comes in front of us. And then one day we're going to sit down and be like, all right, we ain't doing that no more. Ever again, unless we really, really want to. And so that's why I think that the balance is sometimes you just, like, because we can travel together, like, and because we do everything together, the balance is within just us existing within each other. And you still got to do like date night and stuff like that and have fun. Yeah. But me and my wife, we left home and we literally don't have a return date. We're like, we'll probably go home sometime after New Year's or something like that. And we chill every day.
That's awesome. I think that's most people's goal. If you look at the core, everybody has different goals, but I think the core of their goal is to buy back time.
That's all it's about. That's what it should be about.
Because even if you're working at a 9 to 5, that's 9 hours, but you're not including the time that you go to work, come back home, the lunch break. Like, you're not including.
How many people working 9 to 5 go home and actually talk about their job to their spouse?
Exactly.
So that's even more time.
Yeah. So that's why I think everybody, and I feel like in 2020, that's where it started picking up, and people wanted to start getting educated about money and what could they do.
I think the pandemic kind of woke people up, as the same as it did in 2008. In 2008, when the U.S. market had a real estate crash and the economy went down, a lot of people started realizing, out of force, they became entrepreneurs. Out of force.
Yeah.
And so I think the same here, and I think now that the access to information, a lot of young people, and even older people with skills that they had in previous careers, are like, wow, I can put this online. It's a world economy. I have staff all across the world, and I have some staff in the Philippines who make more than doctors in their country.
Wow.
Because they have a skill, and they realize it's a world economy. So I think that's pretty cool.
So I know you say you don't have a return date, but where haven't you been? Like where if you're on this side, because it's the middle point.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of places.
Yeah, you go a lot of places.
You know, from Dubai. Like where haven't you been that you're like, you know what, man, I really want to.
There's a lot, man. I haven't been to quite a bit of places. I want to do an entire Asian tour. So my rule of thumb is for every 5 hours for every 10 hours of travel is a month. You have to stay a month.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
yeah, so if I get on a plane for 10 hours, I'm staying for a month.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Sometimes 3 weeks acceptable. So I want to do an Asia trip.
Okay.
And I want to, visit the Philippines. I want to visit China itself, Malaysia, a couple.
Yeah.
I would just want to visit those places.
And it's a lot of like Southeast Asia, like Malaysia is a Muslim country.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I used to work there, and it was so amazing. That's actually how I was introduced to the faith.
Okay.
In Ramadan and seeing the family and you never, because let's be real, on TV and perception, you think it's only in the
Arabs.
Middle East.
Only 19% of Arabs make up the Muslim population.
Exactly.
Right,
and
so only 19% of the Muslim population is Arabs.
Yeah, so it's fascinating. When I moved there, I was like, wow, it opened up my eyes.
Yeah.
And it also taught me you have to be careful what you watch on TV, because when I went to Malaysia, there's a woman fully covered, and I jumped a little bit. I was startled. And the reason why is because the imagery from the news and TV, and this was 2016 to 2018, but before that, the imagery I'm seeing is, bad, and all this, propaganda.
I call it perception.
Yeah, exactly. And it's triggering. And that's messed up. And that's when I said, you know what, I gotta watch what I watch.
Yeah. Well, the thing is what I encourage anybody to do is travel, and you don't have to travel luxurious. It's very affordable to go places, right? If you want to travel that way, but you need to travel because travel gives you your own perspective.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't seen it for yourself, think about this. Anything that you haven't seen for yourself, you've only been given the perspective from somebody else.
Exactly.
And that perspective usually comes with an agenda.
Yeah.
And so you got to be careful who you listen to and where you take your perspectives from. And so that's why, even though we have the internet and so things, it is very important for you not to be fixated on one source of information, even a couple sources of information. You need to actually travel to go see some things.
Yeah.
And, it's very similar to like the World Cup and people's perception. They went over there like, yo, this is actually dope. What have I been told?
Exactly.
And I'm like, yeah, I've been telling y'all that for a couple of years now.
But I think it's just, and I'm in the media, but I think sometimes the media has, now that you have news cycles of like 24 hours and stuff like that, they can't just give the facts like back in the day, in the old days.
It's a show. Now it's a true show.
Now it's a show with opinions. And me coming up in journalism, that was the number one rule. Do not give your opinion.
It used to be back in the days that it was 80%, 80% facts, 20% opinions. Now it switches. So now the shows are 80% opinion shows and 20% fact shows.
Exactly. And it caters to whatever view you like.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
That's the scary thing.
So you can go watch something that will fit your ideology at all times.
And then say, I'm right. Look, and it's funny.
Just travel. It'll fix all of that.
Exactly. And I think traveling is so important because it opens up your eyes. And it's kind of forced to open up your eyes, especially if you're there for a week or two or something like that.
It just breaks your mental mold.
Exactly. And I think I was blessed when being younger. My parents, I was able to go to China when I was 14. It was like one of those school programs. And I think that opened my eyes like, hey, it's a whole nother world out here.
Yep.
But how was your journey, reverting to Islam, and how did your family take it?
Listen, I have the most supportive and cool family in the world, and I'm not just saying that. My mom is very supportive. My brother is very supportive. My brothers, my sisters, we all work in the same company. We work together. I got an amazing family. My brother's a Rastafarian. My mother's a Christian. I'm a Muslim. And so what happens is we all come together and we all believe in God.
Yeah. That's
at the end of the day, right? And so it's amazing. I got married a little close to a year now. Our families are it's like we've known each other for 30 years. Awesome. You know what I mean? So, but my journey into Islam has been amazing some of the most welcoming people in the world. I feel so a part of something. You know what I mean? And I'm glad I did it the time I did. I'm glad I went through everything I went through to get to this point, to have a clearer thought of, you know, of what I consider like this journey to peace and stuff like that. So It's been fun for me, man. And plus, now it's giving me opportunities to be like, yo, I can come to these other countries. And one of the reasons why I love the Middle East is because it has rules and principles.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very accommodating to our faith.
Yeah, it is. I think it's built around, the country's built around the faith.
Yes.
Right? And I like being in the mall and then it's prayer time. And you can just go over there into
exactly.
that.
Yep.
And anyway, I'll pull over, it's prayer time. And, you know, just because it has a sense of respect and the love that everybody has for each other in these countries, I think is very, it makes you think like, man, why isn't the rest of the world like this?
Yeah.
Right? But it's cool, you know, it's whatever. Everything's not for everybody.
I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. I think we talked about everything.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you stopping by,
Absolutely,
having a good time in Dubai, right in front of the Burj Khalifa.
I know, man. Yeah. Beautiful place. Amazing. The world's tallest.
Awesome, man. And I know you got all your social media. Is it all Maxwell?
Yeah, it's all Maxwell. If you just search my name, Maxwell, any social media platform you like, it'll be there somewhere.
Awesome. Appreciate it,
man. Yeah, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.